There's still some people trickling in, but luckily you get to hear me talk for a few minutes. So welcome everybody. I am Kate Rodock. I'm CEO of Women 2.0 and founding partner at the W Fund. We do a whole bunch of stuff with women and underrepresented founders in both of those organizations. This is our 9th pitch. We're doing these every week. Love having our fantastic founders who are fundraising, who otherwise would have more limited pitch opportunities. So we've had a lot of success with these. We've been making plenty of introductions to investors. So hope everybody's ready to have some email intros on this one. And the way that we are going to do this is each of our companies are going to pitch for about 5 minutes. Then we'll have 3 to 5 minutes of Q&A. Q&A is done through the chat. So if you put in your questions in the chat, I will actually pull them and verbalize them. Again, if there are any questions you want further clarity on, decks, direct intros, what you can do is you can either connect via chat, you can have me make a connection or grab a deck for you, or you can go on Female Founded Club. Carly, do you want to briefly explain Female Founded Club? And Female Founded Club is co-organizing all of these pitches with us.
Yeah, of course. And I think, Elizabeth, if you're sharing your screen, you can just stop sharing it for the time being. Okay, perfect. Thanks for the intro, Kate. So I run the Female Founded Club. We are a community of over 400 female founders that are pre-vetted and raising capital. Investors can log in and search through the database by sector, location, a few other things, and then reach out directly through the platform to the founders. We also have all of our past recordings of these pitch sessions on our platform, along with little bios of each of the startups and a way to reach out to the founders directly through the platform. And we are co-organizing this with Women 2.0 and happy to have you guys all here.
Awesome. All right, we're gonna get started. This week, we are being fun and we're doing food and beverage. We have a couple of actual CPG products and a couple a little bit more on the tech side. So hopefully this will give you a nice flavor of a couple of different options. Literally flavor, that pun was intended. Wonderful. So again, chats in the box, you can kind of put them in whenever you want, but obviously better to wait a little bit towards the end of each session. We are going to start with Betty at Upright. Betty, are you ready?
Yes, I am. Thanks. Perfect. Well, hi, everyone. My name is Betty Tang, and I'm thrilled to be here today to tell you about Upright, which makes oat milk as nutritious as dairy. A little bit about me. I'm a Yale MBA candidate and normally based in New Haven, Connecticut, but this summer I'm currently back in my hometown in Vancouver in Canada. Before business school, I was a consultant at McKinsey, but was itching to do something a little more mission-driven, which led me to founding this venture. So let me share my screen and I will tell you more about it. All right, hoping that everyone can see that right now. So I got started on this because as a consumer myself, I've spent my entire life struggling with trade-offs between health and sustainability every time I use milk. Like 2/3 of humans, I'm sensitive to lactose, and I also have food allergies. And I care about the environment. So although dairy is a high nutrient staple, I won't personally buy it because it doesn't make me feel great physically or knowing how it impacts climate change. I'd researched every alternative milk, but these either didn't fit my dietary needs, were bad for the environment, or just didn't taste good. Last year, though, I discovered that oat milk not only actually tasted good, but didn't separate my coffee. It was free of allergens, and it was by far the most eco-friendly. The only thing was, being health conscious, I noticed that it was pretty low in protein, and doctors were concerned by this as well. And this just frustrated me so much because all I wanted was a tasty, sustainable dairy alternative that didn't sacrifice nutrition, but nothing existed. And I was so sure that, you know, millions, if not billions of others wanted this too. So that is why I got started on Upright. So Upright offers the first and only oat milk as nutritious as dairy with 8 grams of protein and the same key vitamins and minerals. We're developing this with pediatricians and food scientists so it can scale, and ensuring that our oat milk is free of all major allergens, improves heart and gut health by reducing cholesterol and providing prebiotics. It's environmentally sustainable, and it packs nutrition in both our liquid cartons and our instant powder form. Upright is more than just a brand name. You know, we're building a community based on our values in being upright in the way that we live, work, and play. Our branding takes inspiration from retro milk and reimagines it for today's modern consumers. Our mission and vision are what drive us. Upright makes food that empowers sustainable progress towards healthy humans and ecosystems. We're starting with oats specifically because they're a powerhouse for both health and sustainability. We know that this is the right time for us because all consumer trends are pointing this way. Last year, US dairy sales fell $1 billion while oat milk grew 7 times. And in this current pandemic, weekly sales of oat milk are actually growing faster than even hand sanitizer. So it's a huge opportunity. As a plant-based dairy analog, we're targeting a $17 billion market just in the US, and global growth is accelerating. So beyond looking at these macro trends, we've also done a lot of research. Over the past 16 months, we've run multiple surveys and taste tests to validate this demand. And based on user feedback, we've iterated our value proposition and product formulation. So we're confident that consumers want what we're building. From our conversations, we've also understood who our first customer is. And for these millennial parents, how we empower them to live their values every day. Other brands do exist, but we're uniquely positioned as the only oat milk as nutritious as dairy, and on track to be the only plant-based milk across any category recommended by pediatricians. So we're building this through an omni-channel strategy. Given this pandemic, we're starting with a direct to consumer sales model and building a proprietary text message and web-based e-commerce and loyalty solutions to build relationships with our customers. And as communities reopen, we'll then expand into B2B retail and food services. So we're aiming to be a national brand by year 5, and our unit economics are strong. At scale, we're expecting earnings of around 30%. So since starting in early 2019 with my co-founder, Chura, who you see here as well, we've now grown to a passionate team of 5 with really strong complementary skills and experiences. So this includes my strategy, sales, and marketing background at McKinsey and at Carney, and Chura's supply chain operations expertise from Quaker Oats and Pepsi. And we recently hired our CTO, who has 15 years of computer science and engineering. We're also supported by an incredible team of food scientists and mentors that have helped us along the way. And after a year of iteration, everything is pretty much in place now. It's really just funding holding us back. So we're currently raising $500,000 to launch and demonstrate product market fit. We've got a strong pipeline for about half of this, and we're looking for investors to complete our round. So if you're interested or know someone who might be, please reach out. And either way, I'd love to stay connected. You can also sign up, stay in touch by signing up for our waitlist at uprightoats.com. Okay, well, thanks for listening. I'd love to take any questions if there are any.
Betty, thanks so much. Everyone can put their questions into the chat. We've got one question. I'll get to that in a second. I've got a question for you. You mentioned that you're the only or one of the only milks on the market that's pediatrician approved. Can you talk about what that means? Is that something that's difficult to get? say a little bit more on that aspect of things.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for the question. So right now, the American Association of Pediatric Professionals, it's like the governing body within the US for all pediatricians across all the different specializations. They put out a statement saying that they will only recommend for children either plain water or dairy milk as a beverage. So obviously no sugary sodas, fruit juice is also excluded, but also any type of plant-based milk. And in our research, we realized that this was a huge barrier to adoption. Because when you think about dairy milk, I think we all grew up hearing that, it's going to make your bones grow healthy and strong, and it's necessary for, young bodies. And so to dig more into this, we started to talk to more and more pediatricians to understand the challenges that existed. And right now, the main reason is because plant-based alternatives are not as nutritious. So they lack the protein, they don't have the same vitamins and minerals. Calcium is a big one, of course. And so we realized that this was one of the issues holding the category back. We wanted to surmount this. So we've done a lot of work to understand how to fortify our product while keeping it very clean. We're only using oats, but using a really proprietary way of isolating, the things that we want in them to create a product that can mimic the taste and texture and function of dairy milk and have the same nutritional properties, but without the cow part of it. So yeah, we're excited to be able to keep working with pediatricians to do that.
Thank you. Question from Greer Tesler, where are you currently distributed?
Yeah, so we're pre-launch right now, and that's what we're looking for help with, getting the funds to launch. As a consumer-based brand, a lot of investment is needed, of course, in brand development and marketing. And with manufacturing, we're not trying to be like a little cottage industry. We're trying to produce this for scale, and so there's some investment required in the ingredients and the manufacturing time, et cetera. But the plan is to launch initially online. We're in the midst of building out the e-commerce platform I'd mentioned, as well as using that text-based kind of ordering system. So given that everybody's eating at home these days and staying indoors, we're launching online to start, but we've also been chatting with a number of food distributors and retailers for the past year or so that are excited to help us launch once things open up a bit again.
Fantastic. We're going to move on to our next pitcher. Thank you so much for that. But you do have a couple of questions in chat. So Betty, if you want to pop on there, you can feel free to answer some of those questions directly in chat if you'd like to. There are some good ones in there.
Perfect. Sounds good. All right. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Wonderful. We are going to move on next. Slight switch of order for all of you waiting. Elizabeth, we're going to kick over to you for Siren Snacks. And this is not meant to necessarily be an endorsement because I have not tried everything, but I do have Siren Snacks in my house and they're delicious and my kids love them. So this is great.
Well, thank you so much. I just shared my screen. Can everyone see that? Great. Okay. So I'm Elizabeth. I am the co-founder of Siren Snacks. And our mission really is to make plant-based functional snacks designed for today's millennial, modern, on-the-go consumers. We're focused on creating a full pantry of grab-and-go snack options that offer convenience, joy, and plant-based nourishment in every bite. So we're really at the intersection of this trend of functional food and wellness really going mainstream, and we're creating snacks and products that really are tapping into some of the new trends that customers are looking for with plant-based, short and simple ingredient list, organic, gluten-free, and just really clean label. Positioning our products in the growing nutrition bar market. So when we think of Siren and sort of where we fit in with the landscape, we really see our products as the next evolution of what is happening in the protein bar space, delivering superior taste, clean plant-based ingredients, portability, and modern messaging. So we started out and really created these products out of a personal need that myself and my sister, my co-founder, had. We were shopping for products in the protein bar aisle and could just never find anything that delivered on taste, ingredients, and nutrition. In my early 20s, I was diagnosed with the autoimmune condition that and have a lot of food sensitivities that really motivated me to focus on eating clean, whole ingredients. And so without being able to find something, we decided to create our own and have since really built out this full platform of different functional snacks, starting with our plant-based protein bites, 12 grams of protein in every bag, really developed as an alternative to the nutrition bar space. We've also since launched our organic energy bite line. So we have a mocha chip, matcha latte, chai tea, and golden milk line. So those have a little bit of added caffeine coming from the organic coffee beans and tea leaves, as well as adaptogens like reishi and lion's mane. And finally, we have our rest and relaxation bite line. And so this line is available online as well as at Wegmans, and it offers 5 milligrams of hemp-derived CBD per bite. And so you can kind of see from this line up here in the pantry we're building out, it's taking these kind of known flavors that people know and love, things like cookie dough, birthday cake, chocolate brownie, but adding kind of a functional twist with added, unique superfoods and benefits. So it's more than just a delicious snack, but you're getting something to kind of fuel and power up your day. So, in terms of our ingredient standards, this is so important for us. Everything is certified vegan, gluten-free, grain-free, so paleo-friendly as well. We're non-GMO project verified, kosher, and have an organic line as well. So since we launched about 3 years ago, and it's been so exciting to see how quickly the brand has grown. We started out selling to local markets in the Bay Area, where we're based in San Francisco, but have since grown to really become a omni-channel brand with partners in the grocery space, where we're selling to, as I mentioned, Wegmans, Whole Foods, the Fresh Market, and many others. We also earlier this year just launched in both Target and CVS. We're in about 900 Target stores and over 6,000 CVS locations. And then we also have a really growing online business as well, selling direct to consumer through our website and through Amazon. And our approach has really been to just offer the customer lots of different ways to experience and try our products, whether it's online or, easily a place they can pick it up like a CVS or Target, just trying to make the products accessible and easy to get as possible as we've grown. We're going through a number of different ways to support our retail partners, from digital events now to we're bringing back some of our sampling opportunities in September with closed bag sampling, but we've also seen a lot of success with ambassador partnerships and digital marketing. And finally, I'll close on this slide here, but what we're building in the long-term vision is to really create a pantry of different types of functional snacks, building off of the 3 product lines we have now, but expanding into a lot of other categories we're super excited about, whether it's, snacks focused on gut health or blood sugar balance or anti-inflammatory products. We've been, hard at work building out this pipeline and future innovation where we plan to launch online, and then when we see success, roll those out into our retail partners as well as we grow. And then just quickly to speak to our current fundraise, we're raising a $1 million convertible note. We have about 300,000 left in the note, but we've got a great group of investors and angels as well who have invested in Siren to date. One of our biggest investors is actually Kellogg's and their 1894 capital portfolio. And so they've been a great partner, but we're looking for other angels as well who believe in our mission and can help support our growth as we're building out our team, focusing more on digital marketing, and then growing into our new retail accounts. And yeah, I'll stop there for any questions.
Wonderful. Thanks, Elizabeth. There are a couple questions. My very first question, though, is when we can expect peanut butter. I have been waiting for that.
Yeah.
You don't really have to answer that, but
I would say that's been our most requested flavor. It's one we have been working on. And so we've stopped, we paused momentarily our R&D and product launches around COVID. But we're looking to, towards the end of the year, launch some new flavors, and that's definitely on our short list.
Great. Okay, some more serious questions. Question from Carol Lister. You're certified vegan. Are you certified plant-based? How does that compare to the competition?
Yeah, so right now we're just certified vegan. We don't have a certification for plant-based. I think kind of vegan sort of encompasses that. And we really focus though on kind of our marketing, making the brand really inclusive. So we don't, while everything is vegan and plant-based, our messaging is more around clean, delicious, accessible products. So we're not isolating people who are maybe more flexitarians or not fully plant-based yet, but we find that the vegans find us right away, and we want to make it a brand that's inclusive and kind of brings in everyone.
Great. A question from Adriana. Are the snacks produced in the US?
They are, yeah. So we right now, when we launched, we were self-manufacturing in the Bay Area, but we've since moved to a co-packer in the Chicago area. They're SQF level 3, which is like the highest level certified, and we have a lot of capacity to grow with them. And they've been a great partner so far that's allowing us to really ramp up and scale quite quickly.
Great, wonderful. Couple more questions also for you, Elizabeth, in the chat if you want to take them. Additionally, it might be helpful to put in the chat your contact information so people can reach out, although again, there are multiple ways to do so. We are going to move on next. We have got Brittany at Comfort Eat. Brittany, are you ready?
I am. All right. All right, thanks everyone. My name is Brittany Canteen. I'm the founder and CEO of Comfort Eats. I started this last year with my best friend, Raina Omer. She's an expat living in New Zealand, and I visit her probably more times than I can count, every time kind of bring her favorite snacks that she missed. And we realized that just like her, there are millions of expats around the world just kind of missing a taste of home. So let me get my presentation up for you. Can you guys see that? Oh, here we go.
We can see it.
Okay, awesome. Sorry, let me move this out the way. All right, so let me introduce you to Comfort Eats. So if you've ever lived away from home, you know that it's both an amazing experience, but also can be very stressful. There's, expats and immigrants have to deal with cultural differences, language barriers, food not agreeing with their systems, on top of being away from everything and everyone that they grew up with. So when they try and find something that reminds them of home, current options fail them spectacularly. Relying on families to send care packages can be a burden. Trying to rely on Amazon is kind of hit or miss because they don't always ship worldwide or have personal size items. I mean, like, I love Twizzlers personally, but I don't always need 25 pounds of Twizzlers at any given time. And then lastly, if an expat can find a local store selling those American products, they tend to be crazy expensive and wildly expired. I remember early on when my co-founder Raina had found some Oreos, she was so excited to get them home and then discovered they were white because they were fully molded over. Here enters Comfort Eats. We created a streamlined experience for expats, their loved ones, and other internationals curious about authentic American snacks. We focus on an affordable experience, inclusive of customs and duties, so that this service is available to everyone. And then we've also added back in the handcrafted experience into e-commerce. We understand we're fulfilling an emotional need of love and connection, so we take that extra care to really tap into those emotional amplifiers. We have two lines of business, direct to consumers and our partnerships. For our D2C side, we focus on American short-term and long-term expats, their family and friends. And for our partnership side, we include organizations like travel agencies and their travelers, international relocation companies, among other groups. This partnership line is going to be key to our scale, but we'll get to that soon. And this gives us kind of a massive potential of at least 9 billion. Comfort Eats is starting with sending American snacks outward, but our next phase is to expand regionally by adding things like Garrett's popcorn from Chicago or prickly pear candy from Arizona. And then that opens us up to people that have moved across the US and still miss some things from home. Phase 3 is kind of full world domination, where we'll add international snacks from around the world so that regardless of where you grew up, And where you live now, you can get the snacks that most make you feel like yourself. And we've got a ton of interest in this phase. To achieve this vision, we're targeting American expats groups on Facebook specifically, as well as other channels. We've been working with expat influencers to kind of create awareness, and that has been amazing. So for instance, we've had a feature in a Black expat community group in South Korea, which brought us 32 customers in the last quarter. We're also marketing, trying to focus on the countries that have the most American expats. For the future, we want to focus strongly on our partnerships line of business because we know that that's going to help us scale. We know that with these partnerships, we can turn those end customers into Comfort Eats customers. So we've grouped our competitors into a few different categories, but as you can see, Comfort Eats kind of provides a little something that others don't. One that we haven't mentioned before is existing subscription boxes. We feel that they're really missing the opportunity because expats miss very specific things about home. They don't want a sampler pack of things that a company got on sale. They want the things that they miss. And we know that inherently. When I was trying to find a package to send to Raina, the only thing that I could find was a $50 minimum, not including shipping, and it only had 2 of the items that she wanted. So right now we're having really good traction. 40% of our customers are repeat customers. As soon as they try us, they can't get enough. Our most enthusiastic customer has ordered almost over a dozen times since we opened rather. And then our most recent customer has ordered over $300 in a single order. We've shipped over 1,100 items to 22 countries on 6 continents, and we're testing out a recurring revenue stream with our shipping club. And I'm sure you might be wondering about shipping. So we currently are subsidizing the cost of shipping because we want to make this accessible. It's a very strategic decision. We know that by being able to grow to a certain point, we'll be able to further negotiate with our shipping partners, as well as invest in inventory to reduce our product costs, which will bring us to profitability. And then a small note about COVID, it's actually really enhanced the desire for Comfort Eats because people have been stuck home and in desperate need of comfort. With that said, this is what we hope our future will look like. We're targeting a profit margin of 35%, a CAC of $1.50, and you can see that most of our revenue coming from our partnership line. And then like I mentioned, we're expecting to be able to lower our shipping cost and our product cost significantly over time. We're looking to raise $500,000 to grow our team to include a salesperson, an operations person, and a data analyst. We're looking to fund our own partnership, marketing and sales activities, and so that we can secure those first partnerships. And then we want to invest in inventory and streamline our service. And then lastly, here we are. Brittany, I am a product management leader. I have a patent for my work, and I worked with Techstars Seattle as a team member of a previous startup. And then my best friend, Raina, is a design and UX expert, having many design words, and she also has that patent with me during our time at Redbox. All right, so any questions?
Thank you, Brittany. Questions for Brittany can go into the chat. I will ask one quick question too. You've got, can you go over a little bit of the product sourcing that you're doing right now? What are some of the common products that you're shipping? Just about how many products do you have available, and how is that sourcing process being done now?
Yeah, great question. So right now it's almost as if we're like Instacart for expats. So we have about around 100 items right on our site right now. So we try and continually update it, really see what our customers are really claiming for. We kind of have a rotating selection so that it entices people to come back on a regular basis. Some of the most interesting products have been all of the Cheetos varieties, all of the Reese's varieties, and oddly enough, seasonings has also been a very, very big thing. We also have a product request form on our site, so we are getting kind of direct information from our customers about the things that they miss and that they can't find locally.
Great, and also, what does the competitive landscape look like? I know you went through and you talked about different types, but are there any actual major players in this, or you feel pretty good about where this is going in terms of? I love the focus on comfort foods and expats. But you feel, can you go into that a little bit more deeply?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's maybe one or two other e-commerce sites focused on expats, but they're using the subscription box kind of a way to target their market. And again, like I mentioned, we're kind of moving away from that because we've heard directly from customers, both during like our customer interview phase, as well as reading the reviews of those services, that they don't want a subscription.
Brittany, did we lose you, or is that my side?
No, it's not you, Kate.
Okay. No problem. I think she may have been a little bit frozen. That's okay. It's about time to move on to the next one. Any further questions can go in the chat for Brittany. Next up, we've got Brooke from Velour Imports. Brooke, are you ready?
Yes. Yes, hi, I'm Brooke Sinclair from Velour Imports. I am a logistics, transportation, and distribution supply chain manager expert turned founder. Began my career at 19 as a production stage manager, traveling high value lighting board sounding equipment from East to West Coast. Did my very last production at the world famous Apollo Theater, and have used my experience in distribution from the Houston Food Bank, managing retail donations from 250 different grocery stores throughout 18 counties. I've used that experience to create for you today Velour Imports, and here we go. So excellent. Velour Imports, we're building the global superhighway of distribution. So keeping together in line with the industry's technology and the way business models are being built together. So let's tell you a little bit about why you should pay extra attention to Velour. So first and foremost, here are some of the things that we've been able to accomplish just during COVID. Still growing out of comparable stages. So there's many different ways to think about our business and the problems that we're solving. Right now, we're specifically focused on the response to COVID and natural disasters. So the Caribbean Hotel and Trade Association estimates that the Caribbean lost about 1 million jobs per day. That means that people are losing, they have lost their jobs, they have lost income, and will be looking, as the country's borders open up, they'll be looking to help regain those things back. So regain their savings and reestablish themselves into a home. People need to get back to work. So a luxury resort of that is $200 a night needs to find a different way to attract attention. To give you an idea of some of the disasters that Latin America faces, in 2018, they had a volcano eruption in Guatemala. 2017, the Caribbean lost $1 billion to Hurricane Maria. So recovery, they need something, an ability to attract tourists so that they can regain their economic status. So we've listened to our customers and designed the shipping and logistics platform for commercial resale. So luxury resorts that are looking to add on an additional feature to their packages and enhance their guests' experience can come to our marketplace and shipping distribution platform and purchase whole pallets of craft beer, wine, cider, and spirits, which we source directly from manufacturers, from any one of the 8,000 manufacturers throughout the United States. And we ship them directly from the manufacturer to the buyer. Built very similar to the concept of Uber Eats, Drizzly, and things of that nature, our buying process streamlines the import-export buying process and reduces it to 3 very simple steps. An organization like this is still fairly new to come from America. There are organizations like this coming out of Europe that are connecting B2B global sales. However, this will be the first to represent the international, to close the international gap and represent America. One particular focus that I'm especially proud of is the impact on our population. So this is the first time that independent small business owners will have a supply chain management and opportunity for international distribution that they've never had before. It's accessible, it's equitable, there's an equal opportunity for it. And now there's a way for people like myself, founders of color, to easily grasp international distribution. We've been doing a lot of things. And so right now we are in this development where we are growing and scaling. And so we are building a $2 million seed. We're raising a $2 million seed to go ahead and grow to the next sale, hit that next milestone and bring our team on board full time. I'm a little tongue-tied, excuse me. So right now we're doing a seed development. What we're gonna do is, a lot of our competition is domestically based. Again, there are 2 platforms that come out of Europe, but none that are coming out of America. So our platform allows us to offer both pasteurized and unpasteurized craft beer, which is a huge differentiator in this industry. Proof of concept. Just to name a few, we've already had incredible opportunities to work with the Grand Hyatt Baha Mar, the Caribbean's largest restaurant, hotel, and casino, the Hilton Trinidad, and the Four Seasons in St. Kitts. So we have had, just to name a few, we've had some incredible opportunities to understand our customers' buy-sell price. We've gotten their feedback on quantities, and we've gotten their feedback on options as far as flavors. To give you an idea, I mentioned that there are 8,000 craft breweries throughout America. That does not include the number of distilleries, cideries, and vineyards. To give you some idea of what's happening, the growth that's happening in Latin America, their craft beer market is already 30 billion. And once you calculate all of the remaining major populations, that makes the global craft beer market a $500 billion market. Revenue growth. So we're coming over that stage where we're transitioning away from our MVP to our product. We've had some initial pilot programs and been able to bring in a little bit less than $100,000 of revenue. I had to bootstrap and self-finance, self-enhance, and then collect from families and friends. And so we've been able to put in $100,000 and then get back out $100,000. To give you an idea of the team, so myself, logistics and transportation expert. And then we have Chris, who's coming to the operations from the Houston Food Bank, and Shaika, who is coming to us with business and business office management skills and payroll administration. So I mentioned before that we're raising a seed so that we can automate our processes and meet our customers' demands. This is an ideal small breakdown that gives you specifics about what our funds will be used for, and I'm happy to discuss in further if you have any additional questions. All right, so that makes us Velour Imports, the marketplace and distribution platform for the commercial resale. And we're going after the $500 billion global market. And we're looking for a $2 million seed round to get us there to the next milestone. So I would love to hear your questions. Thank you for your time.
Great, thanks, Brooke. I know Carly had a question, and then we've got one in the queue.
Not so much a question, more of an endorsement for Brooke. So Brooke is a female-founded club scout, and she is definitely our most active scout, bringing over 30 founders to the female-founded club. I know that Brooke is awesome and can do whatever she sets her mind to, so just wanted to let the crowd know that I believe in Brooke.
Thank you. And I did not pay her.
Yeah, awesome. Wonderful, Brooke. Okay, question from Vince Cole. Question, how do you plan to scale?
Yes. Scaling. So already there has been a large increase. So specifically scaling, let me just say we're going after luxury tourist destinations. So our scaling, in particularly in response to COVID, means that we're going to offer increasingly more safe COVID experiences using these craft beers and things of that nature. So craft beers, wines, ciders, and spirits. So there are a growing number of luxury tourist locations, a growing number of craft breweries that want to establish themselves as tourist locations, and then a growing number of D2C platforms throughout Central and Latin America. So there are a number of different opportunities available for us with this mechanism of the online platform.
Great. Brooke, thank you so much. If there are any other questions, and Brooke, also, I think it would be helpful if you want to throw in any of your contact or direct contact information into the chat. That would be helpful. And again, people can, you know, go through us as well, but just in case you want to put out a direct contact information. Thank you so much. We are just in time here for our last session. Julia, I think that I saw you pop back on. Julia had to pop off for another phone call. You are up.
I'm here. All right, I'll share my screen and get going. Just give me 1 second. Okay. All right. Okay, hey everyone, thanks so much for having me today. My name is Julia Kierwak, and I'm the founder and CEO and holistic nutritionist behind my brand Nude Food, where we are undoing food and on a mission to improve the way people eat. So the food system is broken and it no longer serves the consumer. Our over-industrialized food system is literally killing us, and we all deserve better. People are waking up to the importance of food, and they want a system that serves them. How I like to explain the evolution of CPG is in 3 phases. In CPG 1.0, we saw foods that were set up for entertainment and focused on taste with novel ingredients. They had no nourishment and were extremely processed with increasingly cheap formulations. In phase 2.0, where we are now, some goods have evolved from their 1.0 predecessors, and they are still entrenched, though, in the established, industrialized, and efficient food system with processed ingredients. But they have marginal improvements to appease consumers with buzzwords of the day, like low carb, whole grain, plant-based, fat-free, and more. The issue with this phase is that it still does not quite address the nutrient deficiency products have. It's like CPG is putting a Band-Aid on to a leg that's fallen off. We need a reset. We need to go back to real food, and moreover, consumers are demanding it. That is where phase 3 comes in, and that will be the future of food soon to be here. So in CPG 3.0, products are made of whole, clean, and real ingredients, which no longer create a health and environmental deficit. This combines the efficient supply chains and tech from phase 1.0, along with modern nutrition knowledge and our ancestral food wisdom to meet the needs of the modern consumer. This phase is where we come in. So at Nude Food, we produce some of the most clean, nutrient-dense, innovative, convenient, and functional foods on the market with the sole purpose of improving human health. We're at the intersection of what consumers demand. So that looks like convenience, fresh fruits and vegetables in an unprocessed manner, as well as functional ingredients and nutrients, which are currently and typically taken in the form of supplements, which try to make up for a lacking diet, but fall short. So in a more detailed view, we see dietary choices like plant-based, keto, paleo, which represent the consumer journey and desire to eat better in their own way. Not only are we at the intersection of every single growing trend in CPG, we go beyond these trends as real food will never go out of style. So let's now delve into how my company is serving consumers. So here are some of our products that we make in our own dedicated facility. Everything is vegan, organic, paleo, raw, nut-free, sugar-free, and we have keto options as well. Our current 4 product lines are our superfood banana crisps, our sweet potato savory crackers, our keto flax crackers, and our chocolate-covered bananas, all of which provide a balance of fiber, protein, good fat for satiation, as well as micronutrients which have been preserved through our proprietary dehydration process. So as you can see, from breakfast to dessert, we have something for everyone, regardless of dietary restriction, and our savior when you're too busy to make a smoothie or a salad. So in the near future, we are continuing to innovate on functional foods on the go, and we'll be focusing on some keto fat bombs, which you can see there. We also have some grain-free and keto mixes ready to bake, like pizza crust and bread, launching in the next few months, but we're all stuck at home with COVID. And beyond that, pretty much every category in the grocery aisle needs a redo. So we envision launching products of the highest integrity and nutrition profiles in various categories, such as cereal, baking, confection, bars, and vegan cheese dips to go with our crackers. So the size of the market being driven by consumer demands will be massive and is projected to be at $32 billion globally by 2025, with the US alone at over $5 billion. So you know, real food and snacking will be huge. The opportunity is there, and the time is now to make it into this growing market before it is saturated. But why us? Well, we have the right products and product market fit. They are of the highest integrity, highly differentiated, with a proprietary process, and they have a high barrier to copy. All our products are nutritionist formulated with no lack of innovation to come. And we also have already, national brand recognition in Canada, and us also in Southern California and online in the US. So onto the manufacturing side, we have a federally regulated facility with all necessary certifications to sell to any retailer in any country around the world. We have a proprietary process, as I mentioned, and have flexibility to create and test innovative concepts quickly with small runs like a plant-based food lab. We also have already invested in building out our national distribution in retail with an omni-channel approach. This takes years to do, and we have a solid foundation to build off of with placement at Loblaws, Metro, Sobeys, Whole Foods, Amazon, as well as in the US through the world's largest distributors such as KeHE and UNFI. We have the right team with the right experience for CPG to scale it. And we're projecting to be able to attain a $10 million annual revenue by 2024, which is based on 100% growth year over year. That would be with investment rounds to support retail, facility expansion, marketing, and we feel that these conservative targets are definitely attainable. And last one, we're currently looking to raise $1 million seed round with a strategic partner. We have a plan to deploy most of the funds on marketing and scaling with focus on e-com as well as in-store promotions to increase brand awareness, trial, and ultimately velocities through our various channels. Thank you, and I look forward to discussing further. And I'll just stop sharing.
Great, thank you, Julia. Questions for Nude Food can go in the chat. Julia, may have missed it, but have you raised a previous round at all?
No, I've just self-funded and taken loans.
Great, fantastic. A question from Vince Cole. Can you explain the unit economics?
Yeah, so are you looking more so for like the gross margin, net margin, cost of goods sold when you talk about unit economics?
I'm gonna guess right now you can probably spit out a couple of those.
Okay, cool.
Unit economics, margin, that type of thing, yeah.
Yep, okay, so our gross margin is 40%, of which just with a little bit of automation, we could decrease by 25% our cost of goods sold with the packaging line. So because everything's being done really laboriously with no automation, we're literally at the worst possible case in regards to the cost of our goods. So that could easily be increased with automation where we can increase our profit margins with very little work.
Great. Any other questions? And while anybody else is putting in questions, you mentioned distribution channels. Where were you, on that slide, were you actually in each of those channels, or was that planned for?
Oh no, that's actual. We have
Cool.
a huge roadmap of distribution in retail.
Great, fantastic. Wonderful. Well, we're just pushing up on time. If anybody else has any questions for Julia or any of the wonderful pitchers today, you can, again, contact them directly. If you'd rather go through us, totally fine. And also, of course, Female Founded Club. Again, thanks so much for being here. I'm Kate Brodock, Women 2.0 and the W Fund. Carly, do you want to close us out?
Yeah, great job, founders. Thanks, investors, for being here. And this is a series, so next Thursday we'll be back. If you have any feedback on how we can be more helpful to you, just let us know. But thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.